Hey guys, and welcome back to another weekend shave. And of course, you know I got my So Sharp Limited shirt on for my weekend shave. As always, we're going to be using Catie's Bubbles Jour Gris, which is a gray day. The above the tie S2 with a Persona blade on Chronos handle. And the Brush of the Gods here, which I started loading just to save a little bit of time. And while I'm loading this, let me go ahead and answer couple of questions that I've received. And people ask sometimes, why do you respond to some of these silly questions? Well, if people take the time to watch and comment, I try to respond. It might take me a few days, but I do. And the question was, you don't look like you have a beard, and this comes up quite a bit. The reason you can't see my beard is because I'm a fair distance back from the camera, and I don't shoot with the rear-facing camera. I'm actually watching myself while I'm shooting with a low-res camera. But I did take some pictures just a few moments ago before my shower, and you can have a look. I do have a beard. Okay, so there you have that. Yes, I have a beard. And also the other thing, I never go more than 24 hours without shaving. So 24 hours growth is max for me at any time. I think I've missed maybe 8 or 9 days shaving in the last 2 or 3 years. I shave every single day because I love it. All right, let's wet the face and get going. The weather here is supposed to be up in the 80s today, which I'm really looking forward to because I got a lot of stuff to do outside, work on the house, planting grass and all. And I won't be around quite as much this summer on the Facebook groups, and it will take me a little longer to respond to your YouTube comments, but I will respond. In years past, I was living in a rental because my wife and I moved here recently in, well, the last 5 years. And we were looking for a home to purchase within the school district, which is affordable, and that's no easy trick because everyone wants to live in this area because the best schools in the state are located in this district, and you can't go to these schools unless you live here. So we were in a rental previously, and I didn't really have to do any work, you know, in the house or the yard, but now I do, so that I'll be spending more time, you know, outside this summer. Also, my son has soccer right now, so I have to take him to those practices and games, so that does take up fair amount of time, and so there'll be times where I'm just not available. However, I will get back to you. This will take me, you know, more time than it traditionally did. So have no fear, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just catching up on all the things I have to do, and today's no exception. I got, with this nice weather, because it's been raining almost every day, I've got a yard work to do outside. I got bamboo in my backyard, the spreading type, and battling that is not going to be fun. Let me fill the sink so you guys don't have to listen to the water running every minute. It's kind of annoying. So anyway, as I was saying, I will get to you. However, if you PM me on Facebook or respond or make a comment on YouTube, it might take me a few days, depending on what I'm doing. I just have a lot to do right now. However, I'm not going anywhere. Just taking care of the business I need to take care of first. All right, let's rinse the face and go for pass 2. Soap, by the way, working really nicely. Like I said, the scent on this is not strong, but it's very easy lathering, and it's really pleasant for me. I really like it. The razor, of course, you know how I feel about the tie razors. Just remarkable. Absolutely wonderful. They are pricey, but for me, they're worth that cost. For other people, they may not be, but I love it. It took me a long time to really fall in love with ATT above the tie. So my suggestion is, if you buy an above the tie razor, and initially it doesn't hit the spot, you find it too aggressive or whatever the case, use it a couple of times a week for a long period of time. And I mean, I'm not talking a week, you know, weeks, plural. What I found in my own experience was It just takes time. And once you dial it in, it's a monster. It just becomes very enjoyable. For many people, it's a little aggressive in the beginning. And it was for me too. But once I continued to use it and sort of got accustomed to it, it's my favorite razor. The build quality is superb, and that was never in question. The question for people is generally, is it too aggressive? Even with the M plates or the S plates. And even for me initially, I thought it was a little aggressive. And I've been through all the plates. And for me, my top 3 plates that work well for me are the S1, S2, and the R1. Those are my favorite. So if you're familiar with ATT, you know what those are. All right, let's rinse the face and go for pass 3. Stand by. But back to the AT. Stick with it. That's my advice. It is worth your time and effort and the little growing pains to actually grow up with it. In terms of learning how to use it, that's what I mean. And once you do, there's no looking back. At least that's my experience. Your experience may, vary obviously, but it became really my favorite razor. And the more I use it, the more I feel that way. So these slants I've been using since December, and by far the best slants, the S1 and S2 that I've ever used, by far. Slant of the gods right here. And that's whether it's the S1 or S2. I prefer the S1 slightly to the S2. And when people ask me why, it's really hard to articulate because I don't know why. I think it might be because these teeth, some people find maybe a little bit sharp. They're not sharp to the touch, but you can feel them. And so for me, the S1 comes across as being a bit more smooth. I'm not saying it is, it just, in my head, that's what I think. Apart from that, they shave very similarly, I find. But I slightly prefer the S1. But I kept both because I love them. And just great all around razor, built to last lifetimes, plural. And very enjoyable for me to use, at least. I have talked to many folks who just, have trouble initially, and I did too. So again, stick with it. All right, so let's rinse the face, and we'll come back and answer another question and do our post. Stand by. Okay, guys, we've rinsed our face, and while we're doing our post here with Thayer's Witch Hazel, I'll go ahead and answer a question. And one of the questions that I get a lot from people or comments is, man, you seem to be able to do anything with a razor. You're going every which way, you go over spots without lather, and you get no cuts or irritation. And that's true, and there are about 3 reasons for that. In terms of going over areas without lather, the soaps that I use have good residual slickness. That means even when the visible soap is gone, it's still slick. So I'm able to go across those areas. For beginners, I don't recommend that you do that ever. Never go over a spot without lather. But for those of you who've been doing it a while, you know how to pull that off. Number 2, knowing your face. I know what my face will put up with and what it won't put up with. And with me, the only against the grain pass I can't do is on my neck, because the grain runs from left to right. If I go across the grain, it's just not good. I will inevitably get irritation or weepers. So you'll notice I'll actually do 3 across the grain passes. I'll go down and up twice. So I don't go against the grain on my neck. Everywhere else is fair game. I can go in any direction with no problem. Reason 3 is knowing your equipment. I use my equipment. I know my equipment. And once you're familiar with your equipment, you'll know what you can get away with. With some razors, you can do things that you cannot do with others. So it's knowing your face, using good quality soaps with residual slickness, and knowing your equipment. If you get those 3 things down, you'll know exactly what you can and cannot do with each piece of equipment. So learn your face and learn your equipment. The only way you can do that is with time and experience. All right, so let's talk about the equipment we used. Above the tie, S2 Slant of the Gods and S1 with Chronos handle. Excellent. The Catie's Bubbles Jour Gris. Excellent, excellent soap. I love it. Sort of mild scent, but wonderful. Brush of the Gods Plisson. I don't even need to talk about that. You know how I feel about it. And we're going to use Fine Fresh Vetiver, which is one of my favorite aftershaves. And I think it pairs very nicely with this Catie's Bubbles Jour Gris. And this is one of those that has a scent that sticks around for a good while, which I really like. So for me, I get to enjoy this for the better part of the day, and that just makes it really nice for me. I won't use aftershaves that don't stick around. It's got to be very special for me to use an aftershave that won't stick around. I mean, a home run type scent. So here we have our shave today for this Saturday morning. I hope you guys, fogged up, I'll just leave it. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope you have a great shave. And please enjoy your weekend. And as always, thanks so much for watching and giving those thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.